Chapter 613. Jian Yun heard him and her heart skipped a beat. She thought to herself that something was wrong and hurriedly urged young Master Zhang, "Hurry up! Don't dawdle. Let's go get the marriage certificate first and then give her a surprise." Just as Jian Yun finished speaking, she heard a furious roar from behind her. Surprise? I think it's more like a shock. Hurry up and leave. Jian Yun chose to ignore Wu Wenjing. It was not easy for her to persuade young Master Zhang. If she did not succeed today, she would have to think of another way. Little Missy, why did Sister Wu bring 2 men? Could they be here to hit me? Young Master Zhang said that he was not going to leave. He looked nervous. What 2 men? Jian Yun was curious. She quickly turned around to take a look. Her face turned dark when she saw them. Not only Wu Wenjing and Luo Yanyan, but also Fang Zhanran and Xu Haiyang were standing beside them. Why are you guys here? Are you here to get your marriage certificate? Today is a good day, haha. Jian Yun laughed awkwardly. Don't glare at me. I found Fang Zhanran. Su Haiyang and Yanyan are in the same office. He was in when Yanyan picked up the phone, so he came. We just wanted to see what you want to do, Wenjing said with a sneer. I don't want to do anything. I just want to find a father for Shay. He. Jian Yun squinted her eyes and smiled very honestly. Little Missy, who are those 2? Young Master Zhang suddenly stretched his head and looked at Fang Zhanran and Xu Haiyang with interest. They were glaring at Jian Yun. Oh, ex-boyfriend number 1, ex-boyfriend number 2. Jian Yun's mouth twitched. She had been with Fang Zhanran for a few days, and he was considered her ex-boyfriend. As for Xu Haiyang, they had not contacted him for a long time. Even when she came back from the capital and he looked for her through Luo Yanyan, she did not go to see him. Why did they also come to join in the fun today? These people really knew how to stir up trouble. Jian Yun was full of criticism from her confidant when she suddenly saw young Master Zhang's expression change. Why do you look like you saw a ghost? Jian Yun hit him. Young Master Zhang trembled. Little Missy, I think I saw your ex-husband. Little Missy, I think I saw your ex-husband. Young Master Zhang's gaze went past Jian Yun and landed a little far behind her. It was as if he did not believe what he saw. He even rubbed his eyes hard. He looked like he had seen a ghost. Stop that! Jian Yun did not believe young Master Zhang at all. Her ex-husband was Hu Liansheng. It had been a few months since they parted ways in the capital. They had completely cut off contact. How could he happen to appear in Qinghu and come to the Civil Affairs Bureau? Jian Yun reached out and slapped young Master Zhang on the head. She glared at him fiercely. Don't think that you can avoid today's good news just because you brought out my ex-husband. Get in. Also, your acting skills are really bad. Young Master Zhang's scheme was exposed. He could not help but rub his head and mutter to himself like a bullied wife. It's a good thing. You are forcing a good girl into prostitution? Jian Yun slapped him again. I am sacrificing myself to get rid of the bugs in society. Save you from harming those little girls again. Hey. You 2. Even if you 2 are flirting, you should still consider the feelings of our family members. Wenjing could not help but roll her eyes. All right, family members. Since you guys are here, then let's be witnesses together. Jian Yun said with a smile. Right now, she only wanted to end the battle quickly. Witness my ass. It's not good for you to find someone to marry. Find this weak chicken. If you dare to go in with him today, I will cut you off. Wenjing was extremely angry. Hey, Sister Wu, who are you calling weak chicken? Am I that bad? Young Master Zhang was not willing to accept this. In fact, he really liked Jian Yun from the bottom of his heart. She was beautiful, had a temperament, and had a special personality. She was simply his dream lover. Of course, the prerequisite was that she was not that violent. But now, the meaning behind these people's words was that he was not worthy of Jian Yun, which made him suffer a great blow. Jian Yun, don't you want to give the baby an account? Marriage is not the only way. Why do you have to make yourself feel so wronged? Fang Zhanran frowned as well. His face was full of anger. Clearly, he was very dissatisfied with Jian Yun's brainless behavior. What made him even more dissatisfied was that even if Jian Yun wanted to find someone to marry, the first choice should be him. She actually found such a second-generation rich who did not have a good reputation. That's right, Yunduo. If you want to register the baby, I can help. Oh, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I know people from the police station, and I can get in touch with them. Su Haiyang also spoke. It was just that his heart was extremely bitter. His gaze vaguely swept over Jian Yun's pregnant belly. If he had not been possessed, he and Jian Yun would have married by now. What she was carrying would be his child. Even though he really wanted to tell Jian Yun that he could marry her and be the father of her child, Su Haiyang also knew that this was just his wishful thinking. How can marrying me be a grievance? You guys are looking down on me too much, aren't you? Young Master Zhang was upset. He did not want to marry Jian Yun, but Jian Yun had forced him to marry her. He had gotten married to a young model once, so he did not want to get married. Then, he still had a weakness in Jian Yun's hands, so he agreed to her. But now, young Master Zhang felt that these people looked down on him, so he insisted on going against them. Little Missy, let's go. I was provoked. Today, we have to prove to them that the two of us are a match made in heaven. Jian Yun could not help but roll her eyes and glance coldly at young Master Zhang. Who made heaven and earth with you? I'm not that bad. At that time, Jian Yun suddenly felt that something was wrong with Zhang Sha. These two eyes were staring past her. Who was he looking at? Again. Jian Yun reached out and pulled young Master Zhang's ear, ready to drag him in. Young Master Zhang hurriedly struggled and said to Jian Yun with a strange expression. Little Missy, I really didn't lie to you this time. You turn around and see who that person is. I'm not looking. Jian Yun immediately refused, but just as she finished speaking, her entire body suddenly shook and an inexplicable feeling of palpitations surged into her heart. It was as if there was something guiding her. Even though her heart was ringing with alarm, she still could not help but turn her head away. In front of the Civil Affairs Bureau was a small open space. Surrounding it was a landscape tree that was evergreen in all 4 seasons. At this time, it was already past 4 in the afternoon. The sun hung on the horizon. The afterglow of the setting sun shone through the leaves and shone with a golden radiance. In the light, a person walked over from afar. That person was tall and tall. He wore a navy blue coat, and his figure was tall and straight. His aura was noble, and it was obvious that he was extraordinary. However, his expression was too cold, as if he was the cold moon on an ice mountain. Although he was as handsome as a god, his entire body emitted a bone-corroding coldness, causing people to subconsciously not dare to approach him. Jian Yun looked at the man who was slowly walking towards her, and suddenly became distracted. She seemed to have returned to the burning color of that night. She had changed into thick makeup and met him for the first time. She almost fell. When he helped her up, his eyes were so cold. There was no emotion in them. It was the way he looked at strangers. Jian Yun only felt as if her heart was grabbed by a hand. An inexplicable pain came and made her suddenly react. Jian Yun quickly retracted her gaze and subconsciously wanted to leave, but her feet seemed to have grown roots and could not move at all. In the blink of an eye, Hu Liancheng had already walked up the stairs and stood in front of Jian Yun. When that familiar aura enveloped Jian Yun in an instant, Jian Yun's face slowly turned pale. She felt as if her throat was blocked by something, and the surrounding air became thick. She suddenly had a feeling that she could not breathe. While Jian Yun was in a daze, young Master Zhang had already secretly removed her hand that was pulling his ear and quietly retreated to Wu Wenjing's side because he felt a strong killing intent coming from Jian Yun's ex-husband. Hu Liancheng lowered his head and looked deeply at the face that had long been carved into his heart. His expression was still indifferent, and there was no joy or anger on his face. However, that pair of black eyes that had always been sharp had already rolled into the sky. That was the deep-rooted longing that he could not meet these past few months. You are going to marry my child. Have you asked me for my opinion? Hu Liancheng's voice was a little hoarse, as if he was deliberately suppressing it. His eyes fell on Jian Yun's raised belly. His eyes suddenly became as deep as the sea. Jian Yun was wearing a red coat today. She was wearing a black cashmere scarf. The lower hem of the scarf was very big. It just happened to hang in front of her and covered her belly. But she was already 8 months pregnant, so no matter how much she covered it, it could not be covered. Hu Liancheng's eyes just stared at her and made Jian Yun suddenly nervous. Her face turned white, and she subconsciously held her stomach and took a step back, wanting to stay away from Hu Liancheng. This is my child. It has nothing to do with you, Mr. Hu. Jian Yun's pale face and the vigilance in her eyes made Hu Liancheng's heart feel like it was pricked by a needle. He gritted his teeth and reached out to touch her face. Jian Yun took another step back and avoided him, as if she was avoiding a plague. The wariness on her face became even stronger. Mr. Hu, please take care of yourself. Hu Liancheng felt a sharp pain in his heart, but he did not show it on his face. He looked deeply at Jian Yun and said in a deep voice, "He is my child. Why does it have nothing to do with me?" Hui Lansheng's aura was too aggressive. Jian Yun's heart could not calm down. She clenched her fists. There was coldness in her eyes. She raised her head to meet Hu Liancheng's gaze. She said coldly, "Please step aside." "I will step aside." "And then? You can just find a random man to marry you. Want my child to call another man's father?" Hu Liancheng stared at Jian Yun. His eyes were full of love and affection, but he suppressed his anger. "I've already said that your child was killed by you. We have nothing to do with each other. You have no right to question me. If you continue to pester me, I will call the police." Jian Yun was angry and her eyes seemed to be on fire. In fact, Jian Yun also understood that Faiyang Jianran and Xu Haiyang were right. If she wanted the child to be registered, she did not have to find a man to marry. She could also ask for help, but she did not want to ask for help. The police chief of Qinghu City was a member of Liao family. As long as her name appeared, the birth time of the child could not be faked. At that time, everyone would know. This was also something Jian Yun didn't want to see. She did not want Chu to be involved with Hu Liancheng and the Liao family anymore. She was her only treasure. However, Granny Liao and Hu Qingcheng's appearance today caught Jian Yun off guard. She was very uneasy, and that was why she called young Master Zhang over to get married in such a hurry. She was afraid that it would be too late. Who knew that Hu Liancheng would come so quickly? She was afraid that Che would be snatched away. She risked her life to protect the treasure. She absolutely would not allow anyone to take Che away. Hu Liancheng suddenly realized that Jian Yun's expression was not right. Cold sweat broke out on her forehead. Her face was pale. She looked at his big eyes full of fear. He could not help frowning and reached out to pull her. "Duo, what's wrong?" "Go away, don't touch me." Jian Yun suddenly lost control of her emotions and staggered back. She hugged her head with both hands and her face was full of panic and fear. Fang Jianren, Well Wenjing, and the others who were originally silent because of Hu Liancheng's sudden appearance suddenly changed their expressions. "Yun Duo." Fang Jianren dashed over, and Wu Wenjing and Luo Yanyan followed him. "I'll bring her in first." Wenjing helped Jian Yun into the Civil Affairs Bureau's hall. Su Haiyang wanted to go over, but he knew he was not welcome. He could only stand there with a lonely face. "Mr. Hu, Jian Yun has mild depression. Don't provoke her." Lu Yanyan saw Hu Liancheng's anxious expression and wanted to follow Jian Yun in. She could not help stopping him and said, "It started when you were not around." At that time, she could not sleep. She was worried about you every day and there were so many people scolding her online. She continued, when she came back from the capital, her depression became more serious. If it was not because of her stomach, she might not have been able to hold on. Why don't I know? Hu Liancheng's expression suddenly changed when he heard that. Shock, pain, and disbelief. He was already unable to explain clearly what he was feeling at this moment, and he only felt a buzzing sound in his mind, as if something had exploded. Why didn't he know that Jian Yun had depression? When he saw her earlier, he did not even notice it. Jian Yun herself did not know about this matter. It was after she came back from the capital that her insomnia became more and more severe. She even reached a point where she could not eat anything. Yanren only realized that Jian Yun might have depression. Later on, she went to the hospital for a checkup. It was indeed. At that time, she did not turn on her phone. She was probably afraid to see the posts that scolded her online. Honestly speaking, if it was me who was scolded, I probably wouldn't be much better. Those people are too vicious. So, Mr. Hu, if you still love her, please don't provoke her anymore. Luo Yanyan sighed. You should not have forgotten how skinny she was when she came back from the capital. Actually, you are not much better than me. Su Haiyang suddenly laughed. He looked at Hu Liancheng's pale face and shook his head. He said, I betrayed her. You are not much better. She suffered a greater blow when she was with you than when I betrayed her. Hu Liancheng suddenly turned to look at Su Haiyang. He narrowed his eyes. A cold light flashed in the corner of his eyes. His whole body was filled with coldness. Su Haiyang seemed to have made up his mind to say what he was thinking. You protected her in name, but you just kept her by your side. She was like a bird in a cage. She was safe for the time being. He continued. If danger approaches, she will not be able to resist. Even if I'm just an outsider, when I see those false comments and malicious curses on the internet, I can't take it anymore. If she's still my girlfriend, I really want to tear those people apart to vent her anger. But what about you? Yes, you swiftly dealt with those online comments, but the damage has already been caused. Not only did you not console her, you even forced her to do what she was most unwilling to do. Do you know how much pain she was in? Su Haiyang could not continue. Luo Yanyan smiled bitterly and continued. Since you already know, Mr. Hu, I also want to say one thing. I feel that you are not worthy of Jian Yun at all. It is not a good match for status, but a soul. It is a bit of a lie to say so. Let me change the way to say it. As a man and a husband, you can't protect her, but you've always brought her pain and humiliation. Even if all of this is not what you want, you're still working hard to do the best. However, Jian Yun also suffered all that because she loves you. You are the source of her pain. Perhaps you do not love her at all like you think. Luo Yanyan paused and felt that saying this was wrong. Hu Liangcheng loved Jian Yun. Even a blind person could see it. He loved her very much. So she continued, either you love her in the wrong way. The way you think you love her is not what she wants. No, it was not like that. Hu Liangcheng's face was pale and disappointed. He loved her. He loved her. During the few months she had been away, no matter how busy he was, he would always take time to fly to Green Lake every week. He missed her, and he madly missed her. However, because of her previous determination and her deep misunderstanding of him, he did not dare to rashly appear in front of her. He had never known that being unable to defend himself was such a bitter feeling. That's right. Hu Liangcheng did not know what to do to make Jian Yun believe him. She said that she would never want to see him again. She changed her phone number. Clearly, she did not want to have any more contact with him. She also took all her things. He gave them to her, but she did not take anything, including the necklace. She even gave up their love token. He knew that she was really disappointed in him this time. But he missed her. He had looked for her for 6 years, and she had long become a part of his life. How could he possibly forget her? However, even though he claimed to love her so much, he did not notice that she was sick. He still blamed her for not listening to his explanation, not willing to believe him, for being so heartless to him. When Cheng Mu's parked the car and walked over, he happened to hear Luo Yanyan's words. He could not help frowning, as if he did not agree with her words. He opened his mouth to retort, "Little girl, don't talk nonsense if you don't know the truth. I, fourth brother, am not like what you said to Sister Jian." Cheng Muze. Before Cheng Mu's could finish his words, he was interrupted by Hu Liangcheng. He looked at Hu Liangcheng and said discontentedly, "Fourth brother, I'm not talking to you. You have to change your temper. You have to say what you have to say to avoid misunderstanding." Luo Yanyan rolled her eyes on Cheng Mu's face a few times. She thought that this man seemed to have something to say. Did they really misunderstand Hu Liangcheng? But Jian Yun was indeed seriously injured because of him. Isn't he very powerful? How can he not even protect his wife? So it's better not to do it. Luo Yanyan curled her lips. At this time, her phone vibrated. She turned to look at Hu Liangcheng. "Mr. Hu, I will go in and see how Jian Yun is. Don't worry. She will not marry that rich second generation. We will not agree to it." Luo Yanyan waved her hand and ran in. "Fourth brother, Sister Qian really found someone to marry?" Cheng Mu's was stunned. His admiration for Jian Yun was like a flood. Aunt and King Cheng just came in the morning. She found a man to register in the afternoon. Cheng Mu's looked at Hu Liangcheng strangely. He could not help but say, "How much does she hate you?" Hu Liangcheng moved his eyes away from the glass door of the Civil Affairs Bureau's hall and looked at Cheng Muze. His eyes seemed to have a knife in them as they shot towards Cheng Muze. "Haha, I'm talking nonsense. Fourth brother, don't be angry." Cheng Mu's pointed at the glass door. "You're not going in?" I saw that Sister Jian's mood was unstable. None of them could stop her. Cheng Mu's felt that it was fortunate that he came in time today. He also received a phone call from Hu Liangcheng's bodyguard, who had been protecting Jian Yun in secret when the plane landed. When he found out that Jian Yun had found a man to register, Hu Liangcheng acted like he was crazy. He drove all the way here. It seemed like the heavens had opened their eyes. Jian Yun had been stuck on the road for so long. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. At that time, in the Civil Affairs Bureau's hall. It was winter now, and it was not a good day. Therefore, it was not the season for marriage registration. In the Civil Affairs Bureau's marriage registration hall, other than the staff, there were only a few cleaning aunties, and there were only 2 couples who came to register. However, Jian Yun and her group were just outside the door. The commotion was too big and many people went to watch. After that, There was a super handsome man, which aroused people's interest in gossip. So at this time, Jian Yun was sitting in the marriage registration hall. She noticed that those people were secretly looking at her, and their eyes were all on her stomach. Jian Yun frowned and felt inexplicably uncomfortable in her heart. Go back, okay? I know what you are thinking. At most, we can go to other places and settle accounts elsewhere. Wen Jing tried hard to persuade Jian Yun and gave young Master Zhang a look. Young Master Zhang originally knew about Jian Yun and Hu Liancheng, but he also saw that they had divorced and scolded Jian Yun on the internet. Hu Liancheng was still far away in the capital and thought that they had all been cut off. Jian Yun was just like the young ladies who were bored by the rich young masters and then abandoned, which was why he dared to marry her. Who would have thought that he would see Hu Liancheng in person today? Furthermore, with his experience, Hu Liancheng still loved Jian Yun. Now, even if he had 100 more guts, he would not dare to snatch her away from Hu Liancheng. Immediately, young Master Zhang nodded his head. Yes, sister. I'm not a good person. You can register with me. What if I teach the little darling a lesson in the future? Shut up. Jian Yun raised her head and glared at young Master Zhang. Young Master Zhang shrunk his neck and did not dare to say anything. Jian Yun, why don't you remarry him? In the silence, Fang Zhanran suddenly spoke. No. Even if I don't get married for the rest of my life, I won't think about him anymore. Jian Yun did not even think about it and refused. Perhaps it was because she was too excited that her voice became sharp. For a moment, she had a headache and her stomach was also slightly uncomfortable. It was just that, why was the surroundings so quiet? Jian Yun's heart moved. She turned her head and saw that Hu Liancheng had come in at some unknown time. At this moment, he was standing less than 3 meters away from her. His face was pale and there was a trace of pain that could not be hidden in his eyes when he looked at her. So, he heard what she said just now? Jian Yun's heart inexplicably felt as if it was pricked by a needle. The way she looked at Hu Liancheng also fluctuated, but the acute pain from her temple made Jian Yun groan. She suddenly lowered her head and hugged her head. What's wrong? Fang Zhanran and Wu Wenjing asked at the same time. My head hurts and my stomach hurts. Cold sweat rolled down Jian Yun's forehead like water. My stomach hurts? Is it going to give birth? Wenjing and Luo Yanyan turned pale with fright. But it's not even the month yet. Don't guess blindly. Quickly go to the hospital. Fang Zhanran subconsciously wanted to hug Jian Yun, but out of the corner of his eye, he saw Hu Liancheng's cold figure quickly rushing over. His body stopped and he took the initiative to move aside. Duo, how are you? Hu Liancheng's heart was beating fast. He put one hand around Jian Yun's waist and the other hand held her legs and was about to pick her up.